Welcome everybody to the revamped version of Conversation with Coach Kevin. I am your host, Coach Kevin, the wellness architect. Those who have been following me in the past know I had a wellness architect show that ended about 3 years ago. And the intention of the show was to inspire, educate, and empower Black people to become the greatest version of themselves, mind, body, and spirit. So I took a 3-year hiatus during COVID just to revamp, just to figure out what I wanted to do, how I wanted to come back, what would be the intentions. And the purpose is still the same to inspire, educate, empower people to be the best version of themselves. But also, I want to really showcase our Black men in a greater light. These men are light. They are doing great things in the community. Mainstream media does not want to showcase us as being positive individuals. So it's up to us not just complain, but just use our platforms to showcase these men in that way. And also, while we have these type of conversations, inspire you all in the same notion. So tonight I have two amazing individuals. If you are on TikTok or IG, you probably have seen these men. They're doing amazing things in the community, and I'm ready to talk to them. So please welcome my guests. Welcome to the show, guys. How y'all doing?
You
All
know,
right.
So, Mr. Joe, can you tell everybody who you are, what you do, and how'd you get to this point before we get started?
so my name is Purpose. Well, people know me about Purpose and Resilience. My name is Joseph Gauls. Um, how did I get to Purpose and Resilience? Much like most people, I got a divorce, and my wife left me, and it took me out because my marriage was my identity, and because my marriage was my identity, I I was lost. So, quick story. I did much like what everybody did. I took the red pill and I went through a bunch of phases, and that made everything worse. And I almost did something stupid to myself. And that night, that morning, I woke up, called Claude Unchin Thomas. Always gonna forever love him. He's a monk, and he had a program, and I begged him, and I tried this program the first time, and I failed. Second time, I came in and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And he told me I had until 4:15 to get there tomorrow, the next day. And I ran, man. I got on the train, I went over there, and I basically realized the problem was me. The problem wasn't what I was doing for my community, it was I neglected myself. I was 375 pounds at that time. I was 389 pounds. Um, and no one said anything. Everybody knew my value. Everybody siphoned off of me but me. And what that did was left me depleted. So when you're at that situation in your life, of course you're gonna look for other people to validate you and affirm you. And I came back with a different kind of set of life. I still played around a little bit because I didn't understand. And about 2 years ago, because I've only done this thing for 2 years, it may seem like a lot because of the growth, but it's
Hmm.
only 2 years. And I just, I said, you know what? I want something to design that defines who I am. Not just Joe Gauls, but what says speak something to me. And Purpose and Resilience was born. And then after that, Self Improvement University. And I took 2 years off of social media, off of it straight up. And I worked on myself. And I mean, no social media, nothing. I think the only thing I was watching was YouTube videos. And for the first couple of months, it was terrible. But as I got going, and I'm like, wow, man, I really neglected myself. I started seeing the world differently. Started reading more, started being more actively involved in my kids' life. I started eating right. I turned plant based, and then I ended up turning to graduating to finding my own and creating my own diet. And I realized I had a voice, right? And I realized that I was a passive aggressive man, like most black men in America. You let shit go. You let shit go, right? Until it boils over. Now you yelling. Well, that's not the right way to do it. So I reprogrammed my entire self. And long story short, to land the plane, I ended up realizing my power and putting myself first. And I realized that was what I was missing. If I would have put myself first, I probably wouldn't have got a divorce because there would have been nothing for her to do. I would have known how to be a partner in my marriage. I
Okay.
expected a lot from her. I made her into my mother. And when you do that, you mess them up because they don't understand. And so once I put the work in myself, I became self-efficient, and the rest is history.
I love it. Mr.
Yep.
Kari, can you tell everybody who you are and your story, how you became who you are right now?
Whew, all right. Well, my name is Cowrie. It's like Cowree, Cowrie, and I do professional life coaching, speaking, and things. And I started out with just single people and couples, helping marriages and things like that. Moving to into corporate type of speaking during that time, I guess, kind of like Joe, we we met through TikTok and started moving with different things together. But at that point in time, I spread out to the masses, right? Got out to the world, which kind of went faster than we expected. And with me, mine is more caught up in every kind of bad experience what most people have been through or the guys have been through, whether you've been the good dad, the bad dad, the dope man, the horrible man, the good man, the sweet man, the kind man, the fighter. I've been it all. But what I teach people and where we're going here is the self awareness of it all, owning it all. Because now that I own my life, I don't rent it from people. They pay to see me now, right? I own this, and so that's where. And with the men's side of it, we graduated to the men's mental health side on the social media aspect because the men are the carriers of the information. They're the holders, protectors of the information, and we have to bring that self awareness to the men, self control, and self discipline through good knowledge and morals. So those types of things, that's where I'm focused on the man side, the man boys that are in the house with the single fathers, single mothers, because those are the ones that will continue to carry the seed. And so that's how I see myself. I'm a seed in a step. I'm not I'm not the greatest. I'm not the worst. I'm not Brad Pitt, but I'm not armpit. I'm here to chill and make this thing, be a part of humanity and really show that we're all needed. I didn't have a father figure into my life that was solid. I was out there. I was adopted later on in life. So I've seen it. I've had murdered brothers. I've seen it, but the thing is, I lived through it. I don't die through anything. So we start teaching a different mindset to our people, to our generation, to our culture, to our kids. But once that man mindset comes back into place to where it's like, hey, what am I leading? Because everybody says be a leader. Lead yourself. Lead the control itself. Once we have that back and we get this word called endurance, that's the big one, then everything starts changing. So I'm just trying to be a catalyst for men all over the world, be known for it, be known for the simple man that knows the corporate world and the underground, be known as that guy. So it's like we're all the same. It's all inside of us, and just being here to help one another, especially anybody.
I appreciate that. So, like I said, I coach uh, men as well. And before my realization that it was needed was about 12 years ago. Um, I was doing a fitness class, and while I was waiting on my instructor, I was sitting in my car and I listened to Michael Baisden on the radio station. And Michael Baisden had Iyanla Van Zant on his show. And she felt led to offer a free 9-week coaching session to the first 100 Black men that responded. And so I was one of the first, ended up being like 125. And in that situation, I realized that we needed help then, because we don't really have safe spaces for men to be themselves and be vulnerable without being judged. And when I saw these guys, you know, crying and being upset because, the father wasn't there or they was molested by their mom's boyfriend and she chose the boyfriend over the son, all these type of things. And I'm like, these men are hurting and they're hurting really bad, but we don't have any programs. We don't we don't we don't create safe spaces for them. But we supposed to be the leaders. How are we gonna be the leaders if nobody's trying to take care of us? So I took it upon myself to be one of those vessels like you guys. So for the men that I coach, and you probably all coach, they always say the father wasn't there. Mine, the father wasn't there. And so a lot of times they are on a journey of trying to find out how to be a man. And it's starting late in life. Now, a lot of them are like late 20s, early 30s. So what both of y'all say will be your first step of recourse in these guys looking for the rights of manhood? Either one of y'all want to go first.
Go ahead, Carter.
All right. The first thing is you have to get understand what's in their head. We try to put what's in our head in their head without trying to find out how are you already programmed. Like what is a man to you? Because what we think may be something totally different. And starting out with just dropping this like we're gonna give this man something. What are we gonna tell this man? No, what we need to show the man is who they really are right now, and get that this word called the truth, not your truth or my truth, the one that solidifies for everybody on the planet Earth. All right. And when we start solidifying some of the truth within that individual, that you self-awareness starts creating self-respect. I don't have to keep worrying about what everybody says outside. I don't need the attention because I know who I am. A lot of people they're not getting to the frame of mind or the course action, the work action that needs to be involved to know who they are, because the main work is telling yourself the truth. I was overweight. I went into the doctor. I'm sitting there laying at night looking at the testosterone commercials like, yeah, all I need to do is get a shot of a pill and I'm the man. But when my doctor was my friend, we were friends. We worked together. He just straight up, Carry, you're fat. That's why you don't need any testosterone. You're fat. Now, people People take this and get all upset. But what I took it as, like, this man loves me enough to tell me the truth. It wasn't about his tone or how he said it. There was a sense of urgency, like, bro, you're about to have a heart attack if you keep going the way you're going. And now you want to make something boost you up so your heart can go harder. All you need to do is lose weight and you will naturally build testosterone. So these little things where the self-awareness start kicking into my mind and showing other men like, look, man, what do you want? Because you got to be aware, and then you know what you want. Once we have those two things combined, I can work with anybody. We can make anything happen. It's
Mhm.
just that we lie to ourselves not knowing what we want. We lie to our children, telling them something that we as parents want and they don't want. And we just continue this lie and call it a generational curse when we're just lying to one another, spreading false information. So to get a man on board, we got to get him talking to another good man. And you don't have to be somebody's daddy to be a good man. I could talk to your son and create something in his life to keep him moving.
Mhm.
Just because you haven't been a good father to your kids, become a good father. Your kids will show up later. We don't become. We don't show each other how to become because we're so afraid to tell each other the truth because I don't want to mess up my attention on my fake friendship that I have with you. Truth is the cure. Self-awareness is the nourishment for the cure.
Love it. Purpose. What you think?
I'm with my brother, but I'm gonna tell you, you got to break down the disconnects, man. For me, like when I teach men, I'm with Kari on this. What do you want? When we do the interviews, when I do the interviews to come to Self Improvement University, we ask you, what do you want? And that question, a lot of people don't know how to answer it, right?
Mhm.
But when you know what you want, right? You know exactly what you want, then you absolutely know where the failure happens. I know the disconnect what happened with me. My father, even though my father was in my life, my father did not show me any love. He didn't show me how to be intimate. He didn't show me how to understand. He didn't show me how to understand women. He showed me how to fight and showed me how to defend myself, which we got to be honest. Look with what the environment people go with. And if you ever follow me, you know I tell people to blame the environment because you can't take a guy who has to survive in the wild and say, "Hey, I want you to just start walking around hugging trees." He got to survive in that shit, right? So we have to blame the environment. That's a side thing. But you have to know exactly what you want. What do you where you want to go? What's the destination you want to go? What does your purpose look like? What does it look like to you? And then we can work and build around that shit. See, a lot of men, the first thing you ask them, it's and Kari can vouch for this, women.
Mhm.
It's right there.
Yep.
And you're like, you don't know how to be to yourself. If you say, hey
Mhm.
man, what's your biggest problem? Women. My girl left me. My wife, she this and that, and she just won't listen to me, man.
Mhm.
Not you, not the fact that your cholesterol is high, not the fact that you need to lose some weight, not the fact that anything else, all these other things, these factors that are far more important than this woman over here, or these children. These because if you die, yes, your life, what happens? It's women. But if you tell men, you get a man to, like he says, the truth and say, hey, man, you're fat. You got to lose
Mhm.
the weight. Hey, man, you talking about your childhood trauma. Okay, cool. Have you talked to your father? Have you had a conversation and sat down with your father? Hey, have you had a conversation with your mother to say, Mom, you messed me up. You messed me up. And I got to tell you why. Because I got to tell you this so I can free myself. I did that. I tell men to go do that. What if she don't listen to you? Ain't got nothing to do with it. You got to put it in an airplane, a pigeon, an email, a text, whatever you got to do, you got to confront it. What we do is men, we hold all that shit in. And we don't know that it eat at us. And then somebody tell us to man up, but you don't know how to.
Right.
You don't know how to. So you got to go and confront that shit. Then you have to learn how to point the fucking fingers. I tell men how to point the fingers. I tell men how to do it properly. You grew up in that environment. There is no way as a child you grow up in that environment that is savagery, that love actually can be respected. There's nowhere in the world that you can grow up in that environment and not be messed up. I seen my first body, deceased body, at the age of 7 years old. At 9, I seen it again. Again. I grew up in the 70s. I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, the crack era, HIV era. Come on, man. So now I'm supposed to not blame the environment I've come from of confusion. No, blame that environment, man, because that environment right there is doing. Now that you know where, now we have pinpointed the source. Let's do something about it. Let's do something about it. You can't do nothing about it if you don't sit there and blame. Well, no, man, it did the best. You did the best they can. No, they didn't. You know why they didn't? Because they knew that environment was wrong and they stayed. No, they didn't. And when I tell men that, they look at me like, no, man, you telling me to blame my mother? I'm absolutely telling you to do that. I'm absolutely telling you to do that because you didn't ask to be born. Oh, man, come on, man, Joe, you can't do that. I did. And me and my mother, that's not saying that you don't love them less. Hey, Mom, I got to give you back this because it's killing me.
Right.
It's killing me as a man. Look at some of these people who have these men's retreat. The first thing they do is they break down and say, where you grew up at? How was your childhood? Write a letter to your father. Write a letter to your mother. Am I lying? Tell me, stop me when I'm telling a lie. The first thing they say, write a letter to your mother and tell her how you feel. Write a letter to your father to tell her how you feel. Write a letter to the environment to tell you how you feel. Write a letter to the stuff because when you grew up, you couldn't express love in the hood. You get your teeth knocked out. What you think you doing? You walking around smiling. Now imagine going through prolonged exposure to that. Prolonged exposure to that. So in order for you as a man, you have to look back and confront the shit that is bothering you and stand up and say, no, man, I'm not going to take that. Because this is the reason what starts passive aggressiveness. This is the reason why men, they all right, whatever you want, baby, whatever you want. And now you're sitting here, you, and then when it messes up, or then when you didn't agree with it and you didn't stand on your own, now you have to express that. For what? Blame that. Nah, man, you're that. And then you can be able to say, no matter what, I love you. Me and my mother has the greatest relationship now. Me and my father got the greatest, but I'm gonna tell you how you messed up. And me, especially me and my dad was like, hey, Dad. He said, hey, son, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was young. No excuse.
Right.
And guess what? We have the greatest relationship. My mother ignored it. Oh, I did what the best I can. That's what all they say. No, you didn't. But it's okay because I'm making up for it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's okay to do that. But so many men are afraid to stand on what they believe. And another thing is what do you want? Men have to value what they have inside of them, or you're going to be food for this world. That means you got to eat right. You got to work out. You got to sit here and read books. You got to protect your mind. You got to protect your sanity. You have to put a price on what you are as a man. And if you do not put a price on what you are as a man, then you're going to be on the discount rack of society. You're going to be on the discount rack of life, and anybody and everybody looking. And when a woman or anybody come in your life, and most men have women issues, and any woman going to come in life after she play out there and do whatever to you, you going to come right, she going to tag you in because you broken.
Right.
You become a savior. And you're not happy, man. So you're not thriving in life. When you can be who you are. You can do the things you need to do. You can work out every day. You can eat right every day. You can put nutritious food in your body. You can focus on your purpose and do what you got to do. I don't care if it take you 13 years. I don't care if it take you for the rest of your life. At least you're going forward to something you want to do as a man. And that is important. That's how you build yourself up. Not this fluff, man. Not this fluff everybody wants you to do. That's me.
So one of the things too that you both of y'all said was um, the downfall of a lot of guys in their journey is the women. They tend to put a lot of focal on the women and the relationships in their life, and that is a form of validation, which I know to be true too. And a lot of guys I have, they, you know, stay in toxic relationships because they want still feel need to be validated, like you said. What do we say to these men to try to convince them that this toxic relationship or this need to be validated for this woman is not going to help them in their journey? Or is there anything we can say to them?
Yeah, that's easy. You know what you do? You can't. You have to tell them you can't fix your relationship with your mother through that woman. You can't do it. Stop. You cannot fix that. A lot of men try their bestest and they stay in toxic relationship because they don't want to feel like they're a quitter. I'm gonna quit on you every day when it comes down to my sanity. You cannot fix the relationship with this woman. You can't fix the relationship with your mother through this woman. You can't, man. And a lot of men try. If I tell a man right now, hey man, what you want to make $100,000 a year? Yeah. I can say, go do this, go do that, go do this, because that's mechanical. Making money is mechanical. It's not hard, right? But when I say you want a family, yeah, now we got some issues. They don't know how to structure that because it's going to be what they've seen and what they viewed. So you have to look at the woman. You have to say, okay, you know what? I can't fix this relationship. I can't fix my mother's relationship through you. This is your partner. Got to love on her. You have to love her. She requires certain things, or you require some things. So the first thing I would say to any man, fix that relationship. Fix that relationship with your mother first, so it doesn't be an anchor or a ball and chain on your marriage or your relationship with a woman.
What's your thoughts, sir?
The first thing is take a step back and look at yourself straight off rip because you chose that decision.
Yeah.
We don't call the man out for the chose. If you went out and you bought a Porsche, then you also bought Porsche insurance, Porsche payments, Porsche oil changes. This is your Porsche. You didn't take the time out. So let's look at it. Well, while you're here in the muck and duck, while you're here and all the tomfoolery, while all the anger's here, you at a level of top control. This is where men come to me and they say, I can't function. But you drove here,
Right.
right? I can't function. No, you can do everything that you could do. Right now, your programming of comfortable woman is in your head. Your programming of comfortable leadership is in your head. And we'll call everything's gotta be toxic, right? And what does toxic really mean? Harmful. So if I'm in here with somebody, then I'm 50% of the harm in this house.
Yep.
I'm at least 50% of what can harm things. So let me start looking at me. But a lot of times we can't even, I get people, they will come to me, women or men, it doesn't matter. Hey, tell me what's going on. Tell me what's going on with you. Why oh you? But then that's not enough. I'll just say you, period. You. And I hear about everybody, the husband, the wife, everybody in the family, the uncle, cousins that's been dead for 35 years. I hear about everybody except them. So when we in the house, whenever I mean, I don't really, I do this with men and women. Because at the point in time you coming to me, you're usually still in the home with that person, right? They're not outside because once you outside, you really don't give a crap. You're doing your thing. But when you're inside, now it's like, you know what? In order for you to get the woman you want as a man, then you got to be the man that that woman wants in the
Right.
house now. Be the man because you think that these women out here are so different. I got the different one. No, you didn't get the different one. You just had one with different characteristics, but you didn't get the different one. So prepare. It's just like going on a job interview. If I'm going to a job interview at NASA, I'm not gonna wear shorts and some flip flops. I'm gonna put on my suit and be ready for a corporate type of job. So I'm gonna get in a corporate type of way for the woman I want. Even while I had that one in there, that tough one in there. But then when it's time to go, man, sometimes it's just time to go. But a lot of times we use the I'm not happy and it's time to go because I don't want to do what I have to do as a man. I don't want to get up and control my emotions. I want to fight like you. I don't want to. I want to share all my feelings instead of like, hey, hold on, let me think. I'm still vulnerable because we tend to think that kryptonite was Superman's vulnerability. Kryptonite ain't have nothing on Lois Lane,
Right.
nothing. So we have to understand ourselves and become that man. But a lot of us are in the house as weak, poor, dirty, nasty, cruel leaders in the house thinking that we deserve more when we haven't even earned more. We're actually earning less. So I address that man's mentality. Let's fortify you before we bring somebody in the courtroom that's not here to defend themselves.
Absolutely. I like that. So, for the listeners, what's the difference between a man and a male? What's the difference between a man and a male? Who want to go first?
You want me to jump on this, Joe? This the difference between a man and a male. LE. It's the same thing. We tend to I don't a male can capture a lion. A man can capture a lion. A boy can capture a lion. But it's something about that XY chromosome that requires endurance and self-control. I don't give a crap if you got a boy in your house that's 3 years old. He is the man of the house when no man is there. Sadly to say, 6 years old. Mama's 35. He's the man of the house. 11 years old, man of the house. 18 years old, man of the house. We try to just dilute things that just get it for what it is. Here are the facts. You have an XY chromosome that gets older. That is a man from day one. When you see the ultrasound and they can say, "Oh, that's I see it. I see the little ding ding." That's a man. That's your starting point. We don't come out of here getting some special treatment. We come out of here with an aggressive nature that must be controlled, a cruel nature that must be controlled. That is a man. We come out of here knowing this mouth, we don't get to use that as much as women do because our aggressive nature is shown through physicality. A woman's aggressive nature and her bullying is shown through communication. So that's why when we're going back and forth with women, you can't win a fight with somebody that know how to sword fight better than you.
Right.
You got to learn how to fight in that way. This whole even when women ask me, they just like, "What kind of man are you?" I say, "A boy, male, and man all wrapped up in one." I like to play. I like to hunt. I like to fish. I like to joke. I like stupid. I like fun. I am still all of it. But when you take that away from me, or take that away from your child and say, "He's just a little boy," no, sister, he's just a young man. I yield on that.
I'm going to say this. I agree. I don't think it's a difference. I've never known. That's something. I'm always weary of people who move the definitions. I'm always weary of people because they don't want to be defined by whatever the definition really is. Webster Dictionary was invented so nobody can go around and come up with their own definitions. That's why it was invented. The dictionary was here. There we go. This is the definition. There's no difference. No difference. The only thing that's different from a man is his journey. What he's willing to walk and what is he willing to endure? What does he want? His purpose is the only thing that defines a man. A man is not defined by nothing else but his purpose and his what he's willing to endure. If you choose to go out and you want to be the best basketball player in the world, so be it. And that means that you're willing to do whatever the best basketball player in the world wants to do. You are defined by what you choose to do with your life. You, no one else. I think a lot of men, what happens is they're always looking for a definition and that's how you know when you're really broken. When I was broken, man, I'm a red pillar. I'm this and all these other terms. I needed somebody online to validate me and say all these things, and so it can make me feel like I'm included. Because when you're broken, you just want to be included. But when I realized that a man stands on his own laurels, stands above everything that he believes in, and takes the attacks of whoever, regardless of whatever, but he still believes in his truth. No matter what, this is what I believe in. I believe in purpose and resilience. I believe in staying on your purpose. I believe in doing what you have to do for yourself. I believe in defining you and only you defining as a man. I believe that you can call upon anything in this world and actually make it so. I believe that, but you have to take the hits of life. You can't walk around and blame everybody else for everybody else's problems and say, well, I'm a male, I'm a man, that's a male. No, I don't, I'm no different than that man. The only difference is we probably got a different mother, different father or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's a man, I'm a man. What makes us different is the journey that we decide to go on. If we stop trying to define each other's journeys, me and Kari represents two different opposing departments. I don't even want to say departments, opposing views. He is men's improvement. I'm self-improvement. I don't care what you are, who you are, male, man, dog, cat, chuck. Are you the best version of yourself? You can identify as a gerbil. I identify as a flute playing samurai. Ain't nobody gonna tell me any different. But guess what? My journey, I have to take the journey to be that. The journey is what defines me. It's just prime example. Somebody said I'm the best. Somebody told me they said the best boxer is Mike Tyson. Well, how can you say that? Because we all see the journey on what it took for Mike Tyson to get there. We've seen the journey. A man is defined by his own journey, his journey. You say you're the best of whatever you decide. But you have to make the damn decision, man. You have to make the decision. And that's what a lot of men want. They don't want to do. You got to make a choice, man. And you have to understand that that choice that you're going to make is going to be the worst choice you ever make. Because once you travel on this side of what he say self-awareness, you can never go back. That's it. You know now.
Right.
The system is plugged in. And you have to be able to become a man and actually realize that this is what you need to do. I can't walk into the doctor's office and the doctor looks at my charts and say, "Oh, everything's okay." No, you got to tell me the truth. This ain't looking good, man. This ain't looking good. How does it fit my journey? I want to be the most healthiest I need to be at the end of this year. This fit my journey. I got to make a decision based on the information that I have in front of me. I can never be the greatest boxer I want to be, even though I love boxing, even though I can roll with the best of them. But I can never be a Mike Tyson because I don't want to take the Mike Tyson journey. So to a man, the only difference, there's no difference between a man and a male. The only difference is a man and what journey he's willing to do. Thomas Edison had 10,000 hours, failures, over 1,000 failures. He kept doing it. The Wright brothers, they laughed at them. Now we got supersonic jets. And we're not talking about, 300 years ago. We're talking about over 150 years ago, still in reach. Still in reach. The guy who said, "Hey, I'm going to come up with the engine to come up with a tugboat or whatever the case, or one of them big boats, ships and stuff like that." Bam. Now we have stuff that can go faster than life. You got to believe in the decision, but you got to make the decision and willing to take the hits of life. Like Rocky said, you got to take the hits and keep going. Life is not going to be kind to nobody. No matter what color you are or no matter who you are. And only less than 1% of us get a shot at this shit. So we have to be, as men, have to go take it. You got to go over here and get it. You got to go do what you got to do. If not, just sit and talk.
Okay. So I have a question for y'all that was posed to me. I told people I was going to start back up and I was going to have you guys on. I had some baby boomer gentlemen who wanted me to ask y'all a question. When you guys are working with the men and you're dealing with the men that are the millennials and possibly Gen Z, the question they have for you guys is how do you deal with them? Because they tend to be super emotional and also always be suffering in depression. And I guess for the baby boomer, the older generation, they don't understand that. So can you please answer that for them?
You want me to go, Kari? Oh, you got. Oh, you froze.
Oh, you want me to get this one? I can get this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want me to go?
Yeah,
But
go ahead. Go ahead.
we literally just had this conversation. Was it today? I think it was today. Um, and this new generation, what happened was women for the past 10 years in therapy were asking men, tell us how you feel. Tell us how you feel. We want to know your feelings, right? And men have been holding them in. And if I'm able to hold something in, if I'm able to hold in a tiger, that means I can control it, right? I've been controlling a tiger for many years, and you got to look at it for what it is. So men have been controlling these emotions, holding them in, controlling this wild red nosed bulldog just pulling at them, right? And now it's out. We can let our bulldog just run down the street. but this is a bulldog. All right. First, we got to find out in this new generation because it's not about whatever they think it's about. Because this new generation has tagged on so much pain, blame, and attention on other things beside themselves. We still are here, even though my mother was not that good of a mother, or my biological parents weren't that good of people. They still made me, which has helped all these people. So I gotta drop something off, right? But I don't know how to do it because I like blaming my current problems. So we have to bring attention to, like, because in this generation, they're not looking at the reason why they have current problems. They're only looking at things they want. So when you're talking to your kids or whoever, like, hey, what do you want? I want to be a football player. Do you want to be a football player or do you want the girls that football players get? Well, I mean, I want the girls, but I also want a car. Oh, so you want to be a football player because you want stuff that the football players get. Well, no, if I have the girl in the car, then people will think a certain way about me. Oh, so you're a manipulator. You just want to know how to be a better manipulator. So we don't break down the wants of this youth because we want to rub their back as we give them the truth. It's like this is like fresh shaving. You know when you fresh shave and but we want to rub the neosporin or something on their skin, some what we know what gets it done. Rub that fresh alcohol. You're gonna get that oh, but we know we good. We know we're not gonna be itching during the day.
Right.
But we take that hit, and the new generation, from what I'm seeing here, they're softer. And by softer, I'm not saying any kind of form of gay or this or that. They're a softer version of man that is showing itself now. That man has always been in there. And this is what people don't get. Like, why are men so emotional now? Are you crazy? Men are the most emotional people on the planet. We just have to hide it because we look bad when we show it. Or we have problems with the law when we show our emotions because the law's not written for that. We got to take care of that man's cruelty. So we find out, hey, let me let you know something. Hey, Kevin, you a cruel, nasty dude. Yeah. What you think everybody's supposed to treat you good as nasty as you are? I'm not nasty. I'm not cruel. Yeah, you are. Now, what do you want, Kevin? Well, I want the Ferrari and the women. Do you know how mean, nasty, and cruel you are? You think you're gonna care to keep it? So you have to go with that, showing these men and these boys and these people that all they're doing is wearing a mask and telling a different story. But once you own your story and wear your mask, then people pay for your movie. But otherwise, they're paying for dinners because they're paying for the fake dinner. They paying for fake stuff, cars, and losing their job, being on the internet, paying, using all that time because they're paying for the wrong things. So they get the wages of the wrong things. You get the wages of depression, sadness, bitterness, pettiness. Yeah, we got to find out what they want and then let them know how cruel they really are. And that brings upon self awareness.
Like that one. What about you, sir?
Um, yeah, we talk about this all the time. Like when I talk to the youth, I really do like talking to them, and let me tell you why. Ma- Majority of the time, they coming with some real problems. I mean, real problems, and I'm talking about absolute real problems. They're not coming with stuff that's not fixable. I have a celebrity. One of these rappers I don't know. I can't say his name anyway, but whatever he called himself. But he comes to me about issues that kind of sort of, no, that's not kind of sort of, it's fixable. Hey, my mama said this. What should I say? I feel uncomfortable because I feel like I got the world on my shoulders. Those things I can deal with. And with Kari, like Kari said, they're showing us all the things that we suppressed and hid, all the things we felt, all the stuff we were going through. They're showing us, man. They're coming, like my son, prime example, my son came to me. He was in boxing, got whooped. He said, you know what, Dad? I know what the problem is. So what? I wasn't eating right. I didn't work out. I was out of gas. By the time I got in there, I was just food. That's how most of them think. They just need to be guided. What happens is that our generation and the generation behind us, we shame them.
Yep.
That's what we do. And we have to own that. We man up. What's wrong with you? You're weak. You this and that. When a lot of times they just need guidance. They don't need nobody to call them a punk or call them this and that because they're expressing themselves. Because that crap got to come out. Granddaddy cheated. Why did Granddaddy cheat? Because he wasn't feeling loved. Because he didn't know how to express himself. So he cheated and made multiple kids all over the city. Right? Because he didn't feel the love because he didn't know how to express himself. Hey, I would like to feel loved here. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel welcomed. I don't feel welcome in my home. He didn't know how to say that. He was a coward. This generation comes in, Dad, I feel a certain way. What? I didn't appreciate what you said to me. Okay, let's talk about it. Thank you, Dad. Let's sit down. That's a man. Granddaddy was a fucking coward because he didn't say that. But this generation, even though it may be displaced and it needs to be moved a certain way, it's very teachable. Because, like I said, Granddaddy, who shamed you and belittled you, did some of the most unspeakable things. But this generation, Pops, I got to talk to you. What's up, son? You said something to me I didn't appreciate. And I'm feeling a certain way. That's a man to me. Okay, son. I just did that with my son. Okay, son, let's sit and talk. I stopped what I'm doing. Let's talk. And we hashed it out. Isn't that what we want men to do?
Right.
But the generation behind us, oh, they weak, they complain. They're expressing. And what we have to stop doing is shaming them and guide them. Like I said, I talk to young people all the time. I love talking to them because they come to me with some real problems. And they just be like, hey, OG, hey, dinosaur, blah, blah, blah. This happened. What do you think? I'm like, okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Well, how did it make you feel? It made me feel this way. It made me feel that. I said, you need to express that. You're not weak because you express who you are. If he got a problem with it, that's his problem. Stop worrying about what people think. I talk to them that way, and they be like, OG, you right. You right, OG. They just need to be guided, not shamed. And that's what our generation do, because whatever the action they're saying makes us feel uncomfortable. And because it makes us feel uncomfortable, and because we don't have the emotional tools to be able to help and to be able to do it, I'm going to shame it away and push it away so I don't have to deal with it. So let me shame you and say that you're less than a man and you're less than this, so you won't bring me this problem. Man up so I can abuse you even more. That's where that came from. And that's why men are the way they are now. That's why men are all messed up now. Because a lot of other people who don't want to deal with stuff, instead of saying, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with what you're bringing me, shame you so you can stop bringing it to them, so they can keep messing you up. And that ain't right.
I love it. So we got 5 minutes left before we end. So what I want to do is give each of you guys a chance to give the audience 3 tools they can use to go into 2024 to help them become their best version, and then also let everybody know how they can follow you on social media, and also if they want to be part of your university, how they can do that as well.
Okay. Well, I'll go first. Well, 3 tools. I gotta say this. Put yourself first. Eat right. You have to eat right because what you eat can create so much chaos in your body. Always put yourself first, and no matter what, that's the first thing. Eat right. Then also know who you are, man. Know your value and know your worth. Both. Value is what you have. Your worth is what somebody else is willing to pay. And always set it high. You can find me. I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere. Uh, there's a men's group out there called 360 Discipline. I think it's men's only. Me and Kari was going to be going over there majority of the time for some of the men, at least once a week or whatever. We're going to try to. Um, I'm everywhere. To join my university, I'm trying to remember everything. Join my university, you just gotta send me an email. It's free for now. In March, that's when we're gonna open it up globally. Pretty much it's every other month. It's a 30-day challenge. So every other month. So January, we have one on the 29th starting, and then the next one will be the end of April/March. So you can just email me at joe at purposeandresilience.com.net, and we go from there.
All right. Last but not least,
All right, 3 things. I'm gonna go with my top one. Become self-aware. Become become self-aware of who you are, and then you're able to control the things around you. It's so easy. Know that you are a creator. You are the ultimate creator of self. You are the most beautiful thing that you get to create in this lifetime. It doesn't matter who gave you the dookie paint that you had to use. You're just using it for brown, and you get to create your own picture. You become the flower out of the manure. The last thing, um, the last thing is endurance. No matter what, the difference between a winner and a quitter is usually endurance. You can get somebody that runs that marathon and it took them 15 hours, but they crossed that line in a wheelchair. They won. They won. Or you could get that guy that runs and he finishes it in 2 hours. He's a winner. But they had to endure something to get there. So those are the things. And I'm sorry, I gotta give you my last. I gotta give you a fourth because this is the key to all of it. Keep the love and excitement that you had, the love and excitement as a child thinking about Christmas Day. If you want to do something, you put in your heart like Coward's Corner in my mind is Coward's Corner. And I get excited like it's coming on Christmas Day. And I keep that love in my heart because that's what we do. We let love go out of our heart and we become the cold people we are, or the depressed people we are. Keep that for your wife, your kids. You keep that all day long. And with me, like I said, I do professional life coaching on the the top levels, the corporate levels, and men and women. But I focus on men's mental health. This is where we are. We need to get this right for our youth. I can be reached at www.calvariescorner.com, and I'm on all the platforms. But anything that we can do or work with Joe, been one of the best people I could have, companions on a journey that I could ever have asked for. And that's what we need to tell our men. Look for the companions on your journey. So I thank
I
you, man. I
agree.
appreciate it. I
I
yield.
appreciate you. Um, when I came back to this, I had to be still, and I try to figure out who I asked God to guide me to who I need to talk to in this journey that I'm on for this 2024. And I started watching TikTok a lot, and I would see purpose and resilience. And he will always come on. Every time I turn on my phone, I would see him, and he would have me mesmerized because how he talks is so in your face, but it's so true at the same time. So then I start to see you. And I said, okay, you know, that's why I best still. I said, okay, he's guiding me. He's showing me who I need to talk to and reach out to. And so when I started reaching out, saying that's what I'm started doing, and y'all was like the first ones to respond, that was just like the confirmation that I needed, that you guys were the two that I wanted to start off with first, because what you guys are doing on social media and other things is amazing. And the world needed to know, our black men need to know so they can touch me. Because I'm not compete with nobody. There's enough room for all of us to win. Because at the end of the day, we're all doing the same purpose, which is trying to help our people become their best selves. And if they become their best selves, we automatically won. And so I just want to say I appreciate both of you guys for coming on. I'm gonna stay connected to you guys. I hope y'all do amazing things in 2024. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you, man. Anytime you need me, I'm here.
And
I appreciate that.
much life. Thank you, and don't worry, we don't need hope. We winners. We doing this over here. We provide hope.
I
We've
heard
already
that.
walked that walk, so we winners over here. We teach people how to win.
I heard
We
that.
give hope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
All right.
this has been the episode of Conversations with Coach Kevin. Till next week, we are out. Peace. Thanks, fellas.
Much life.
Yes, sir.